In this next brief series, we're going to talk about probably the single most important thing that we're ever going to talk about, and that's the buyers. The buyers are the gatekeepers to retail and the shelf. Without understanding the buyers, you're not going to get very far, so stick with us. If you're going to be presenting to buyers, you have to understand two things, and that's what we're going to talk about in the two upcoming videos. Number one, you have to understand what they do for a living. And number two, you have to understand how they make decisions. It drives me crazy when I'm talking to someone and they can't understand that the person that is the gatekeeper to retail is the buyer, and you have to be able to put yourself in their shoes. If you can't put yourself in their shoes, you're going to have a really hard time convincing them that your product is worth it. And what I mean by that is this. If you sell spaghetti sauce, it is great that all of your friends love your spaghetti sauce and your mom thinks that your spaghetti sauce is the absolute coolest. But at the end of the day, that's not a reason for someone to take something off the shelf and put your item on there. The biggest difference between online and retail is limited space. Online, you have an endless shelf. You could put a billion spaghetti sauces out there and you could sell them all and you could fight over how to get your customers to buy your product. On the shelf, you only have so much room, and that room is absolutely valuable. And that buyer is the key person that manages that shelf. So in the next video, we're going to get into the details of what the buyer does. In the video after that, we're going to get into how they make decisions. A couple of caveats, we can't cover everything. Buyers have very complex job. It is a high stress job. They're moving a lot of pieces. They are dealing with a lot of teams. They are dealing with a lot of suppliers internally, externally, you name it. This is a job that is under the gun a lot. They have a lot on their plate. So if you think about it this way, your job is to make their job easier, right? And so it's not just selling your product to them. It's building confidence with them. It's making sure that they understand. And here's another big thing that we all need to take a step back and realize. Buyers are human beings, just like you, just like me, just like everybody else. They're human beings. They have good days. They have bad days. There are really great buyers and there are really bad buyers. All of that is outside of our control, right? At the end of the day, we don't get to control the buyer. All we can control is how we approach the buyer and how we talk to the buyer. And understanding their job and what they do on the day-to-day and understanding how they make choices and decisions is vital and it's important. So I think entrepreneurs do a really, really good job of putting themselves in a customer's shoe, right? They can understand why the customer would want to purchase their product, which is great, is an absolute necessity. And in decision making, we'll get into how that's very important to a buyer as well. But there are so many other key components to what a buyer's thinking about that is very different than the customers. And we have to be able to put ourselves in the shoes. We have to be able to objectively stand in front of a shelf and say, okay, if my item is going to be put on the shelf, something is coming off. Now, how do I convince a buyer that my product is going to perform better, right? So stick with us. That's what we're going to cover in the next two episodes. Up next, we are going to cover what their job entails. Thank you.